What do you do when your absolute best effort just isn't enough? Toby hit a literal wall today. A massive boulder blocking the only path through the forest. But as he's about to learn, brute force is a trap. Sometimes, the only way to move forward is to stop pushing and start thinking, finding a smarter path. Every morning, Toby and his loyal dog, Rusty, loved to explore the Whispering Woods. Their favorite adventure was finding the hidden berry patch, just beyond the ancient oak tree. Today was no different. The air was fresh, the birds were singing, and Toby was eager for a delicious breakfast of wild berries. Toby was a boy who loved to solve problems, especially with his strong muscles. He believed that with enough effort he could conquer anything and overcome any obstacle. His goal was simple: get to the berry patch. But then, as they rounded the bend, their routine morning took an unexpected turn. A gigantic gray boulder sat right in the middle of their path. It was taller than Toby and looked as old as the mountains themselves. Toby gasped, his eyes wide with disbelief. Rusty let out a small, confused whine, nudging Toby's leg. Their familiar path to delicious berries was now completely blocked. Toby's first thought was, "No problem, I'll just push it." He took a deep breath, puffed out his chest, and leaned into the cold, rough stone with all his might. He pushed and pushed, his feet slipping on the loose dirt, determined to move the stubborn obstacle. "Ugh, come on, you big rock. Move!" The boulder didn't budge an inch, standing firm against Toby's strength. Toby stumbled back, panting, but not defeated. He believed that if you just worked harder, you'd always succeed. So he tried again, this time putting his whole shoulder into it with renewed vigor. He pushed, pulled, and even tried to wiggle the enormous stone from every angle. Nothing. The boulder seemed to laugh at his efforts, unmoving and defiant. Toby felt a knot of frustration tightening in his stomach, a feeling he rarely experienced. Why wasn't his hard work paying off this time? "But I'm trying my best. This always works." Sometimes, when things get tough, our brains tell us to just keep doing what we've always done, even if it's not working. Toby slumped onto the ground, feeling tired and defeated. He wasn't giving up on the berries, but his usual strong-arm method wasn't helping. He sighed, leaning back against a tree. Rusty licked his face sympathetically. Toby closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them, not looking at the boulder, but around times it. He noticed the way the dirt sloped, the roots of the trees, and the subtle contours of the forest floor. And then, his eyes landed on something interesting. A long, thick branch had fallen from a nearby oak, partially covered in moss. Next to it, a smaller, sturdy rock was half buried in the ground. A tiny spark of an idea flickered in Toby's mind, a glimmer of hope. He remembered something his grandpa always said. "Look closely, Toby. The answer isn't always right in front of you, but it's usually nearby." This wisdom resonated deeply with Toby, guiding his gaze to the potential tools and solutions hidden in plain sight around him, waiting to be discovered. Toby carefully picked up the strong branch. He then wedged the smaller, sturdy rock under one side of the boulder, making sure it was firm. This was his fulcrum, the pivot point. He slid the end of the branch under the boulder, resting it securely on the fulcrum rock. He carefully positioned the long branch under the boulder, ensuring the fulcrum rock was stable and the branch had a good grip. Toby's movements were now deliberate and thoughtful, a stark contrast to his earlier frustrated pushes. Rusty watched with keen interest, sensing a shift in Toby's approach and a new strategy unfolding. With a deep breath, Toby pressed down on the other end of the branch. He didn't push against the boulder, but leveraged it, using the fulcrum to multiply his strength. With just a fraction of the effort he'd used before, the giant boulder slowly, majestically, began to roll. "It's moving! It's moving!" The boulder rolled just enough to clear the path, revealing the sunlit trail beyond. Toby and Rusty exchanged excited glances, their eyes sparkling with joy. He hadn't used brute force, but a clever idea. A huge grin spread across Toby's face, a mix of relief and triumph. Toby learned a big lesson that day, one far more valuable than any berry. He realized that sometimes, pushing harder isn't the answer, and brute force has its limits. Instead of just working harder, he learned to work smarter. He stopped, he looked, and he thought, truly understanding the power of observation. Just like Toby used that branch as a lever to move the boulder, we can all find our own levers for tough problems. Whether it's a tricky homework problem, a disagreement with a friend, or building a tall tower, sometimes the best solution isn't to push harder, but to pause, observe, and try a different, clever way. Remember, sometimes the smartest way forward isn't to push harder, but to think differently. What boulder in your life needs a new kind of lever? Share your ideas in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more heartwarming stories.